Hey internet friends, this week we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do something called the leftover challenge. We're going to use leftovers to make a delicious gourmet meal, and this week we're going to use french fries to make poutine. We're going to go step by step, show you how to make poutine gravy. We're going to do a little something different. It's going to be great. Poutine. Screenshot the shot just like every other thing, but remember this recipe is all about improvising. Alright, first thing you want to do is take some olive oil inside your pot and make sure you heat it up. Don't put it in a cold pan. Then you want to drop your minced garlic in and give it a stir with your favorite wooden spoon and let that cook for about 1 minute to 2 minutes until it becomes fragrant. After you can smell the delicious garlic, you want to add 2 cups of chicken stock to the party. And since this is a full flavor party, let's go ahead and add 2 cups of beef stock to this party as well. Look at how robust that's going to be. Now you want to add a half a cup to a full cup of your favorite ketchup. This is going to replace tomato paste and sugar. We don't need to add any extra sugar, any glucose, anything, because ketchup's generally sweet and those sugars will break down in the gravy perfectly. Now we need a big old tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You could do 2 of these or 1.5 if you want it to be a little bit more tart and tangy. And now you want 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. I picked Dijon mustard specifically because regular mustard will give it a nice little smooth flavor. The horseradish and the Dijon will give it a nice kick, which is really, really delicious. And you need a big old whopping tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Now we want to make sure everything is all mixed together beautifully and let those flavors all get to know each other, and you're going to let this kind of simmer to medium heat so it boils while we work on the roux in another pot. Now in a separate pot you want to get 2.5 tablespoons of butter and you want 2 teaspoons of flour. And basically you want the butter to melt and you want to mix the flour in really well. Now it's time to grab your favorite whisk and just start whisking the butter and the flour together as the butter melts. This will kind of create like a weird dough, and that's the consistency that you're actually looking for. As you can see, you just kind of keep whisking it around, moving it, making sure the butter doesn't stick, making sure nothing burns, and this is the consistency that you're looking for, almost like dumplings. As you can see, I gave it one more little mix, but that's what it's supposed to look like, almost like golden mashed potatoes. Now you want to take your beautiful roux mixture and you want to take it right to your gravy that's already been bubbling and boiling, and you're going to dump it in very carefully with a whisk and just kind of mix it together as you're adding it. This is the thickening agent for your gravy. And then just like before, you want to just go ahead and keep mixing it like crazy, because you want to get all the lumps and you want it to be a smooth consistency. I look like I'm using a high-powered machine right here, but I guarantee you I'm not. This is all by hand. I chose not to use my immersion blender or any of my fancy tools I have, just so that I could be like you guys and do everything by hand. And once you have all the lumps out, you can put it on the stove at a simmer and cover, mixing it like every 5 to 10 minutes, and you could let it sit for about an hour. And now that the gravy's simmering, that brings us to the leftover part of the leftover challenge. In this bin it looks like we have a leftover gyro and some fries. In this bin it looks like just a lot of leftover fries and some feta cheese. And in this bin, what else do we have? Fries! More french fries. All the better for the poutine. Now there are a lot of different ways and methods to heat up old fries. I found my favorite method is with the air fryer. You put it at about 200 degrees, maybe 250, at like 5 to 6 minutes, and you get perfectly crisp, not soggy, delicious fries. Alternatively, you could use an oven or a toaster oven or even a microwave. Microwave, they'll still be soggy though, but like I've experimented with a bunch of different stuff. Clearly I had a lot of leftover fries to work with, but the air fryer was my favorite. Now while our fries are air frying and our gravy is simmering, let's deconstruct this gyro that I found in my fridge. First, we're going to take off all the green and healthy bits like the onions and the cucumber and the tomatoes, and we just want the meat. So we're going to take everything aside, get it off the pita, start pulling that meat apart and putting it into a bowl so that we can find a new way to reheat this to not lose the integrity of the meat and still find a way to make it delicious. So I thought of a great way to reheat this gyro meat is I'm going to treat it almost like Italian beef. I'm going to reheat it in the gravy that we're still cooking, which is great because it'll kind of mix the gyro flavors and textures with the gravy, and they'll kind of mold together into something unique that's not just regular poutine. Also, just so you guys are aware, all the stuff, the little fixins that I took off of the gyro, I didn't throw away. Nothing went to waste. I used them on other little experiments, other little culinary projects I was doing. Then, while everything is heating up nicely, you can go ahead and relax, pour a beer into your favorite Ninja Turtle glass, and chug it like it's your job. Because when you're making these videos, it is your job. Great job. Now get back to work. And now the last bit that you need is cheese curds. Cheese curds are the one thing in my house that never become leftovers. Everyone always finishes their cheese curds. Cheese curds are friggin' delicious. So we're gonna make some homemade, quick, out of a bag, these were frozen, kind of mozzarella substitute cheese curds. And that's okay. Part of this recipe is all about using what you have. Making gourmet meals out of things that you already exist in your fridge so you don't need to go to the store. Because it's scary to go to the store. And now everything should be heated perfectly well. So let's start stacking stuff. I'm going to use some of these leftover pita chips that I made from the leftover pita, and I'm going to stack it with fries from the air fryer, which came out super good. Now we're going to add little bits of the gyro, kind of like a layer at a time, pretty much just like doing a layer of fries and then gyro and then fries and then gyro. Looks like I'm just doing all fries here, but there's the more gyro meat. Go ahead and stack that up. Stack it perfectly. Now that your fries look photogenic and beautiful, you can stack your makeshift cheese curds on top of them. And then you want to go ahead and add the money shot of this thick-ass, delicious gravy that you made. Doesn't that just look so good? Just dump it all over, drench every fry. It's so good. Follow me on Insta for more beautiful gems like this. Now let's go ahead and get ready to eat. The gravy is tangy and savory. The fries have this awesome, like, crunch to them, even though they're a day and a half old. The gyro soaked up a lot of the gravy juices and kind of distributed some of its own flavor back. My little makeshift cheese curds are mozzarella cheese, but that's okay. But the gravy is really like the hero of the whole thing. And I barely added any of it to it. So we have this whole mountain of fries and the gyro meat. It's so good. I highly recommend it. Gee, wasn't that delicious? Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I'm sure some of the videos will be around here somewhere. And don't forget to hit that bell button. Cheers.